What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. In this video, I want to talk basically about the state of Harry Potter, the open world RPG in 2020, and why it's not looking good. Now, normally I'm Mr. Optimist, right? And I am going to keep that optimistic approach even as I talk about this, this specific topic in this video. I still believe this game is being made. I still believe this game is real. I don't think just because that Chinese card game, Magic Awakened, just because that happened, I don't feel like all of a sudden this game never existed. So I am on that side of the fence. We've made videos talking about all of that stuff on the channel, so definitely go and check that out too if you're not basically caught up. But when it comes to 2020, what I just said, all those optimistic things, that's about as optimistic as I'll stay for right now. The pessimistic side of me, the opposite side for 2020, the more I think about it, the more I truly am unsure that this is the year that we get that we even get an announcement. And the reason I say that is, well, here we are, right? We're already, depending on when you guys are watching this, we're in the middle, we're in the late of at the end of January here. So the first month of the year is already over, and we're entering, obviously, this new age of gaming, right? We're getting into the next generation of consoles. And yes, that is going to bring with it all of these kind of games. And I'm not saying that we may not get a teaser or something to hint a little bit more. I think it is kind of vital that we at least get some sort of nod that they're making it this year. I honestly believe that it's necessary. It's it kind of goes back to me with the Arkham stuff where it's like I'm not demanding it. I'm not going to their door and knocking on it, but I think it would be a kind gesture to say, "Hey, we know those leaks, say they do it in the fall. Hey, we know those leaks happened 2 years ago and we just never said anything about it, but here you go." So I feel like that could happen. Now, what's looking more and more likely is this. Fantastic Beasts 3, and we talked about, if they could line up, comes out next year. Not the end of 2020, but the end of 2021. So what could they do? Well, it is likely, or it is possible, that they announce the game in the first half of 2021 and it comes out the second half. The biggest reason is it's Warner Bros. And we talked a lot about how Warner Bros. Operates. They don't really announce their games and have them come out years and years later. And if you were to announce this Harry Potter game, say this E3, there's a couple problems with that. And that's ultimately another reason why I think we're not getting the announcement this year is this. Warner Bros. Montreal is making the Batman game. Now, at the time that I'm recording this, it's just teasers. They haven't showed a trailer yet. They haven't said the title. Maybe that's changed by the time this video's come out. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't change what I'm saying. That game is happening. That game is real. That game is probably in 2020. You have Rocksteady. I think, and I've said it before, I think this is the year of Rocksteady. I think Rocksteady is also going to announce their new game this year, probably at E3. Who knows when that, maybe that game comes out also around the same time as Warner Bros. Montreal. Maybe that game comes out, early 2021. But you have other games you need to push first. And yes, they're doing Cyberpunk, I get that, but they're only the publishers, right? They're not they don't own CD Projekt Red, the developers of the game. The ones that they own, their own studios, Warner Bros., they tend to announce it and then it comes out really soon. 3, 4, 5, 6 months later, the games come out. That's always been the case. We've always said that. And that's been a theme that we've said with this Harry Potter game. That's what makes it difficult is I've always said it looks bad with these leaks and all this stuff, and then it doesn't happen, and it's like you're just letting these leaks kind of linger out there, right? Where they're just kind of there, and it's like, well, it would be nice if you said something, or if you said, yeah, again, do the BioShock thing with 2K where they say, yeah, we're making a BioShock game. That's it. We're not going to say anything else. We'll see you when we see you. I don't know why Warner Bros. Couldn't do that, especially with these games that have leak problems like this game, right? Like Harry Potter. We literally saw gameplay. Now, you could say it was fake, and at the end of the day, if the game never happens, then it was fake, right? Or it happened and it was canceled, right? Something like that. So, yeah, you could eventually argue that, but for right now, I'm willing to stand still on the side that says that was real. And this game is still happening. It could very well be that was early development. That was much early, and we've said that. There was probably more early in development than a lot of us thought. A lot of us jumped on that it was happening right away, right? That we would then get the announcement right then and there, and then the game would probably come out within the next year. But at this time, it seems like, okay, well, that was October of 2018. By the time we hear about it, it could very well be, the summer of 2021. So it could be, 2.5 years after we originally got that. So, I mean, and if that happens, then yeah, that was just very early footage. And I wouldn't even put it past them to even say something about it then. Like, yeah, some, things got out, but like we were working on it, or we started working on it in 2017, late 2017, and you could say, oh, that was only a year after they originally started making it. That makes a lot more sense. Lines up, right? Because it'd be like 4 years after they made it. So all that kind of stuff. I think that that's the roadmap. I think that is eventually what's going to happen. Does it hurt them in 2020? Yeah, I mean, the brand of Harry Potter, or the idea of this game, I mean, well, let's be honest, I don't think there's a lot of people super still into it. I mean, we still do generally really good views specifically on these videos, but really I feel like I'm the only one, literally the only one that talks about it. I sometimes will go on Google, sometimes just look at like any news stories, any of them that are talking about it, and there'll be none for months and months at a time. And then, yeah, they'll pop back up like Gamescom or E3 or I'm sure there are specific times of the year for these big moments where people will throw it back out, and I will too, right? It's just generally what the industry does. But besides that, it's relatively quiet, and that kind of sucks because we were all super excited at a time that we didn't expect to be back in that October. And then really after that, right, they did next to nothing, which is, I mean, that's what they did, right? So it does, I think, suck for 2020. I think this is a year more of conjecture, more of us just discussing what this game could be about. At the same time, again, what could very well happen is teasers, is leaks, is stuff like that. I never want to use Warner Bros. Montreal as an example for anything ever in my life, but what they did even, I think, again, that game was delayed. That game was pushed back. There was a lot of things internally, and they did expect to announce it sooner than they actually are now, but they had a plan in place. And I think that you could start to see in 2020 teases, maybe even from the studio. Because, again, we don't actually know that studio that's making it or rumored to be making it. They are not talking about what they're making. So as of right now, I mean, that still honestly keeps the hope alive. Because until they say, oh, we're making another game, here's the other game, let's show you the other game, then it's like, well, you're not saying what you're making, but you're obviously employed, which means you're doing something. You're not just sitting there doing nothing. So the game could very well be being made in your studio, right? And that's where I'm going to stand on it until, again, they show me something different. But I feel like, again, like those are the things you keep an eye on, right? Those are what you keep an eye on in 2020. What are the people they're tweeting? Is there any hints that they're doing? Like, is there anything on all these social media platforms? Is there anything on like LinkedIn of what they're working on? Anything like that? Those are the things you keep an eye on, and those are the things that as 2020 goes on and on and on, we may start to see additions to, or things change about it, or maybe on their website, stuff like that. That's when we start to get progress with that. So I think that is what 2020 brings. I think that it doesn't necessarily make sense from what Warner Bros. Always does with announcing and then having it come out. It doesn't really fit. And again, like I've always talked about, I really don't think this game comes out before the new Arkham game or before Rocksteady's game. And like if Rocksteady announces their game at E3 2020, do you also say it's Justice League? Do you have Justice League be announced the same time as this Harry Potter game? Like that's really tough. I don't think you do that. In fact, I will guarantee you don't do that. And that kind of sucks because I just feel like there's definitely a bigger possibility that Rocksteady goes rather than this Harry Potter game. So I think it's very unlikely. I think, again, 2020 is a year of just us kind of talking about it online. People will bring it back up again when it gets closer to E3 and say, will it be? And I will too. I'll tell you that. I'll do the exact same thing. Will it be at E3? Those kind of things. But that, honestly, besides that, especially from like a mainstream point of view, that's really all you're going to get. That's all the talk you're going to get on this Harry Potter game, which does suck, does, I think, hurt it, does make the people that originally supported it and wanted it back in 2018, I think it hurts them the most. I think not necessarily betrayal, but they're going to feel the most hurt when the game gets announced, say again, in like another year. This is going to be like, well, like including myself, right? We all were ready for it and wanted it and talked about it and discussed it and did all of these things, hyping it up basically for you, free hype for this company. We did that all in October of 2018, and then they did nothing. And I think that's going to just hurt the feelings of the people that did that, like including myself. But beyond that, a lot of people just have jumped off, or a lot of people just don't care, or a lot of people just flat out don't even know, but they will know. Eventually, I do 100% believe, until it's proven otherwise, I believe that this game is being made. I think this game is real. I think this game will come out. I just feel like 2021 is looking a whole lot more likely the more I think about it. Guys, let me know in the comments below. What do you think? When do you think we're going to see this Harry Potter announcement? Do you think it's 2020? Do you agree with what I said? All those things, let me know in the comments below. Make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel, Podcast Now. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these Harry Potter videos go up. And thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all on the next video.